Hello, my name is Surya Ganguly, and this is my first course of opening in chess base. And we will look at Ragozin, named after the uh, Soviet player Ragozin. And it starts with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, bishop b4. It could also come from the Nimzo move order. So, why this course? Why this course is differently structured, and why should we opt for Ragozin? So first of all, why this course? I wanted to make some course on opening, and Ragozin is one area where I felt there are a lot of scope of fresh ideas, fresh direction, and something that is very easy to play, easy to understand. I am against memorization. Like, I will never give you lines and say, hey, you know what, you have to memorize such and such things. No, I am always up for understanding the concept. So you will see throughout the course, there will be a lot of tactical lines, strategy, many new ideas, but it is concept based. So if I am unable to make it clear to you, that means I simply do not understand the opening myself. But this will not be the case, trust me. Now, how the chapters are divided. I find it, very confusing for myself when I see everything, let's say, under 5 bishop g5, and then white can play queen b3, queen a4. Then white can play queen b3, queen a4, not with bishop g5, but with cd5. Those goes under 5 cd5. Likewise, white can also start with queen b3 or queen a4, and maybe then he's playing e3, not bishop g5 or cd5. Then it gets very confusing, and I don't like to name my files that way. Like, if I look at my own database, it's always setup based. That means all queen a4 will come under one chapter. All queen b3 will come under one chapter. Like, it will be a category. For example, queen b3, it can happen with cd5, without cd5. It can happen with bishop g5, without bishop g5. Maybe with e3, with the bishop on c1, maybe not. But all queen b3 under one chapter. All queen a4. Queen a4 is a bigger one. So queen a4 is broken into further parts. Like, one part is with the bishop on c1, where white plays e3, with cd5 or without cd5. The other one is with bishop g5. And then there is the trendy line queen a4 and a3. Queen a4, since it's the biggest chapter, it is divided into more number of parts. Total, you will see 8 chapters, all very concise. Why it is very concise? Am I skipping some lines? Not at all. It is concise because in 99% cases, we are the first one to deviate. We are the one who are creating the theory rather than following. Now, before we make any further moves, and this is how I would like to start any opening, whether you play Caro-Kann, you play Nadov, you are playing first move e4, first move d4, you need to understand the concept at the very beginning. I think one of the biggest mistake that happens at a when we start opening, that we just take it for granted that first 3-4 moves or first 5-7 moves, if my opponent plays this, I'll play that, and it's just memory. But we are not understanding the concept, and this is what I want to ensure, that next time when you play Ragozin, you know why you are doing this. So we go back from the beginning. White played d4. He is trying to take the center. We can play d5 and we will get to the same position. We can get Ragozin from this move order also. c4, Queen's Gambit. If he takes, he's getting the center and so on. We play e6 and we get to this position. In whichever order, the moment we got to this setup, take a pause. Like literally, pause the video and answer me this question. Who has compromised? I want you to pause the video and conclude here. You don't have to write it or anything, but think about this. Who compromised? Who has to give an explanation? That, hey, you know what, I have compromised something, so I have to give an explanation for this. I hope our answers will match. It is black. This. You have played e6, d5, you have a passive bishop. So we have the responsibility to answer or to justify why did we do this. What is our justification? You see, the moment you start approaching a line this way, it gets easier. You know what is our justification? We are saying, okay, it's our move, but even before we play bishop b4, one concept is, yes, we ignored this, but we expedited this thing. That is, I will castle faster. I am 2 moves away from castling. In fact, when I play bishop b4, I am 1 move away from castling. Now, my justification is here. How do you castle? White can say, I can play e3, for example. Well, if you play g3, I can always take here, right? So, maybe I want to play e3. But the moment you play e3, what are you doing for this? Bishop on c1. So, that's an issue. Now you can say I'll play moves like bishop g5 and then play something like here. 3 moves away. Not just 1, 3 moves away. This is where we see that when white plays such a move, we are being very active. Like, I'll give you one simple thing. I play h6, attack the bishop. You want to play normal? No, this is not happening. Now I will take. Because now if you play e4, I have g5. So the point is, we do agree that if after bishop g5, white is able to play e3, bishop d3, castle, white is better. Why white is better? Because we cannot justify this. But our argument is starting from the moment we played bishop b4, that we are playing for the following. One of these. And if I don't want to show these 3, I just want to say I'm playing for this guy. That is our idea. Now, how the course is structured, I spoke. What are the novelties? What are the groundbreaking ideas you are going to see? Let's have a look at some of those. Not all, but definitely some of those. Let's start with bishop f4. So if you play, if white plays bishop f4, we immediately take. How are we able to do this? Because with the bishop on g5, if we take, it's a possibility, we are not doing this, then white has e4. Because after h6, he is able to take here. So this is another line, by the way. This we are not playing. This is another line where white says, you know what, I have central pawns and so on. So this is not how we are playing. But if bishop f4, we just take. No more e4. And I will save this pawn. Bishop g5, one of the main line. So we play h6. We already said that now if he plays bishop h4, I am taking. So white goes like bishop f6. We take e3. One of the traditional main lines. How does this line go? So typically this is what happens. White is saying, yes, I gave pair of bishops, but you still did not solve this problem. And you don't have these breaks easily. So the main line is short castle. White says, I will delay. I play rook c1. Black typically plays this, here, c5. All of these are main lines and short castle. There is nothing wrong with this line. Absolutely nothing wrong. And you know how the variation goes. So cd4, many games here. The main trick is white plays knight e4, attacking the queen. We have to move. White plays a3, attacking the bishop, and then white plays queen d4. White is playing against these pieces, and if we chase the queen, like something like this, let's say, there was a game by Dubov Anand where white goes here and then next plays g4, g5. Black is fine. Black should not play like this, but I think black has some ideas like bishop here and then like this. I'm not recommending this, by the way. The point is now after queen h5, there is bishop c5. There are more details into this, but we don't do this at all. So throughout the course, you will see there is always very subtle move order. Like for example here, we are not playing castling. Number of times you will see we don't do this. What do? We play c5. Your opponent will already be slightly surprised. In the main file, you will see all different moves also. But to highlight why are we playing c5, I love the novelties where we change tiny bit, where the difference is not very obvious for our opponent, and then suddenly, during the game is like, oh wow, that was the idea. So first we play c5. White plays rook c1, we take. White takes, we take. What changed? No knight e4. I just traded short castle instead of c5. So all this knight e4, a3, the variation, the main line which we saw, bye-bye, not happening. And in the file you will see it is knight d4, then there is no problem. Now castle, your pieces are coming. He is unable to, he did not get the queen d4 stuff. Yeah, it's the queen d4 and all this queen coming to h5, then g4, g5 with this knights. No, that's not happening. So one idea, for example here, queen b3, you will see everywhere we are playing c5. It's not a big problem. e3. This was a bit challenging for me in general. I can say, you know what, play castle. He will play bishop d3. This directly gets to Nimzo-Indian. We can get this from many different move orders. White could have played knight c3, bishop b4, e3, the main Nimzo, and then knight f3. I have done a course in Chessable also on Nimzo where this position is shown. It's huge line, right? And of course, it's possible to give similar direction. There is nothing wrong with that. But we can exploit the move order. How are we exploiting? In Nimzo, e3 castle, first of all, we castled. Secondly, white played bishop d3, keeping this option open. So there is already some difference. Sometimes players are not paying enough attention to these details. Through Ragozin move order, you play e3, you have two ideas. One, you want to get to the main Nimzo. Second, after castle, there are moves like bishop d2. Very long theory, like there are players who have played, I don't know how many games. Like Sandeepan, for example, my friend, he played, 70 games or something. I'm just roughly saying in this fashion. White wants to get, after b6, he will take, tries to get some such setup. This is also part of my Nimzo Semi-Tarrasch course. But again, we can bypass all of this. There is nothing wrong in studying this. But exploit the move order in such a way where your opponent is also surprised. I don't castle, which is the main move. I start with c5. What changes? In the file, you will see there are other moves also like a3. All these moves are covered. But to highlight the details here, first of all, I eliminate bishop d2. Because the whole point of bishop d2 is you are ready for c5. Here you are not ready. So e3 c5, you play bishop d2, and I take cd4 immediately. So queen a4 is always this, so it's not an issue. So this will not work. I expect your opponent will play here bishop d3, and he is once again expecting that let's say some form of castle will happen, and we will get to the very main Nimzo Indian, like thousands of games, and this is the famous Karpov system and everything. Do we go here? Do I again redirect you to my Nimzo course? No, I don't. I say that take advantage of the move order. Be more cunning here. How do we do this? How do we find something very unique in such a position? You can say, okay, this is traditional main line, it looks boring. Okay, what new are you going to say? Are you going to say some h5, a5? No such things. I am just being slightly subtle here. I will take. Takes. I take on c4. You take. What changed? The only thing that changed, I have not included castle. Thanks to the Ragozin move order. How do we take advantage of this? We play something extremely rare, unheard of, a6. What changed with castle? Like imagine, why didn't we play castle a6 here? Well, the answer is, if you had included castle before and got to this position, white would have played knight e5, b5, queen f3, and we are done. The moment, once again, it's a good place to stop. The moment we got this position, white is justifying his isolated pawn by saying, how are you going to develop this? We say we want to develop here. So we want to play a6, b5. And if after a6, if you play a4, we'll get there, but it's always very healthy for us because we can come here, pull back the bishop, and so bad at drawing arrows, and then put the knight on b4. At least one plan. Now, the main point of delaying castling gets highlighted here. You cannot punish me. Knight e5, I play b5. Want to play queen f3, but castle is not included. Queen d4. That's the trick. Now queen a8, okay, I give check. This is protected. I'll take the piece, or I'm threatening here. There are like multiple options. It's completely over. If a4, okay, then I play knight c6. a4 is already a concession. White in the main line also, white was not playing a4. If short castle, of course we don't castle and trick ourselves with knight e5. We take advantage of the move order. We insert b5 before white can stop us from playing that. Bishop b3, okay, castle. Bishop g5. Once again, many moves. You can play something like this. In the course, you will see I gave a move like this. The point is, after knight e5, we can take. We just start taking everything. Here it's bishop f6 back. And if he takes, we play knight e4. If he doesn't do that, d5, you have knight c5. Attacking here, takes, completely fine. So you can expect novelties like this, which are there, but it's still hidden. Hidden as in nobody is paying attention because vast amount of games, they're playing castle. So already, for example, this, when we are playing this, it's almost new, like hardly any games. That's for e3. Just like we saw in the bishop g5 line, right? Here also we were playing c5 before castling. Small difference, but helping us to avoid vast amount of theory. Queen a4 check. So queen a4 check, we need to understand that white can play in different ways. 3 ways the chapters are divided. One is the modern pawn sacrifice line. Second, with the bishop tuck in on c1. And finally, with some form of bishop g5. What do we have to keep in mind? You will see in the chapter I say that queen a4 cannot work with bishop h4. Impossible. The moment white wants bishop g5, bishop h4, which is good thing for him because he is making a progress for e3. He cannot get this without giving us a concession. Meaning what we saw before, bishop g5, h6, he cannot play bishop h4 because I will take. Likewise, queen a4, why is he playing queen a4? His queen is misplaced. We play knight c6, we develop a piece. Later we will attack the queen. What is the purpose of playing queen a4? Only one, which is it stops us from playing some c5 ideas, which buys him some time to consolidate his king because we cannot open it up immediately. But in order to play queen a4, now he has to make some concession. Like if he plays bishop g5, again, here we can even take immediately. But let's say if he goes first bishop g5, h6, now check here, he has to basically take, and we take. And you will see in the file, now he can decide whether to take or to play e3, bishop e2. You will see in the main file. One of the very trendy line is a3. White wants to play something like this, like he is expecting knight e4, and then the line goes like, yeah, white develops somehow. I don't recall the exact move order. If it is either this way or this way, one of this pawn sacrifice line. But anyway, it's not important because we don't allow that. We don't allow that also psychologically. That is, when your opponent is playing a3, he's looking forward to this pawn sacrifice thing, and we change the dynamism. We castle. So in order to justify, now he has to play bishop g5. He does that. h6, bishop h4. So indeed white got everything. No, he got queen on a4, bishop on h4, but he also played a3. a3 in itself is not a huge weakness or something, but it gave us one extra tempo, which means he is farther away from castling. In fact, 1, 2, 3 moves away from castling. And now you will see we again deviate. This whole castle, okay, it was played by Fabiano once in Rapid. And a bit counterintuitive idea, knight e7. Absolutely forcing white to take. And then next we play c5. Every time cd5, we play queen d5. The typical point, how is this line justified? 1, 2, 3. 3 moves, right? You will not get this because this is 1, 2. 2 comes with a tempo. And then 3. This is the idea. I am always getting queen a5 check. I am always creating. Of course, if you can play e3, bishop e2, castle, consolidate everything, okay, what do I have to say? But this is not happening. I am faster here. More you will see in the main course. Then, if not e3, if not a3, the other main moves is e3. Here I am very happy to provide something so fresh that it almost feels unreal. Like if you just look at online database at this point, there are, I don't know, maybe 3,000, 4,000 games or maybe more, and so many subtleties. I had those files, and every time I would want to play something like this, it always feels, oh my god, when I am playing a6, when I am playing h6, when white is playing h3, like the moves were not making sense. White has primarily two ideas. He can play some bishop d2, and we are playing for some form of to play some sort of e5, And the main variation goes like takes, bishop d6, black tries to play e5, white plays some move like, let's say, rook d1, trying to stop that, and it goes on and on. Maybe some h6. Sometimes white also plays queen c2. We have different moves here like rook e8, like b6, but like rook e8, there is now bishop d2, and there is this cat and mouse game happens. We play bishop f8, we keep on waiting for the bishop to move, then we take, and white has all these kind of moves waiting, while we have these kind of moves as waiting. h6 is very typically important because after takes and e5 you sort of stop knight g5 ideas. But then it is so confusing that sometimes white plays rook d1, your response is different, but when he plays h3 h6 rook d1, your response is different. Of course it's possible to break it down, explain this nicely, but I'm not a big fan of this. The reason why I'm not a big fan of this, even for my own game, it doesn't stay very properly because it is subtle at such a level. Stockfish is like 3,700 whatever rating, and maybe for them it's very easy, but for us to understand, oh, he has played h3, so now in that variation that line is not working, it's always taking a lot of mind space. And I wanted something very simple which I can understand, which is I can play. I have never made a course anywhere where I will not play that line. So you can be absolutely confident that whatever you are seeing, tomorrow if I have a game, I can go and confidently play that. So what is the purpose? Queen c2. It's very easy. The moment he has played queen c2, this bishop is not hanging. What was the purpose of him playing queen a4 and queen c2? To force us to play knight c6, right? So that we don't have c5. We improvise now. We just play knight e7. And you will see the lines are incredibly concise but also beautiful, like how we are creating very quick counterplay. And already your opponent will be out of the book, most likely. This, still it has been played like 20 games or something. Next one, bishop d2, which is the main move. Thousands of games. You will play 2 moves now. It will come to 0 games. No, like absolutely it has not been played. Probably will be the first one to play. I would also be surprised if before the course is published, if some games have been played. That would be disappointing unless it's me. So what's the idea? Also, it's very simple. I really like where there is simplicity. What are we playing for? When the Ragozin started, we said we are playing for the king. So that means it was this or this. He managed to stop that. But there is also e5 idea. And there is also this queen which is vulnerable. So I have e5 idea and the queen to attack the queen. These two connects the dot with queen e8. Now, very important. We do not start with queen e8, which will be not ideal. The moment he plays bishop d2, of course, he wants to play a3, so that he takes. And now, if we take here, he's taking here with the queen. And no more knight d4 business. And for some reason, this one is not ideal. Let me just figure this out. I know this does not work. Probably because something like this, and yeah, creating maybe some form of counter. I'm not, you can check this with Indian, but I'm pretty sure the refutation will be along this line. What we do, we first take, and now we play queen e8. It's very straightforward. So now either he plays a3 or he plays this. We do the same. So imagine he plays this, for example. We take and we take. Here we are pawn up. Same goes with a3. We have gained this tempo. And we take with the knight. Computer gives 0.00, but okay, I'm a pawn up. And queen e8, if he moves the queen, you will see in the file. Now we play e5. Sure. All four moves are analyzed. All sensible moves are covered here. Probably the most critical is this. And now we take and play queen d8 back. And we play for this king. Just maybe one line I will show here out of my mind, which is also given in the course, that when you look at the position, what feels most dangerous? It's this, right? Some form of attack. And this is where you score point. Like if your opponent comes with long castle, plays bishop g5, you take. He takes. And you play a move which seems like a blunder. Knight d5. If he takes, we take. Hey, queen b3, am I not losing a piece? No, of course not. Queen d7, take, knight a5. So we will have to know a few details like this. But just to know, this much details, we are completely bypassing a huge amount of theory. I think the variation goes like this, and it gives tremendous compensation. I'm pretty sure somewhere here I stopped. Computer gives zeros or maybe some minute advantage to black. It's a great position because of this king. So, so that's for queen a4. Finally, if white takes this one, so as I said, 99% cases you will see something fresh. But I also don't believe that I have to give you new ideas just for the sake of giving. Because I want to keep it practical. If the standard lines are working and it's logical, easy to play, I don't see any need. Why should I change? So this is one of the occasion where white got his bishop on h4, but he has already compromised. He has activated our bishop, so we play bishop f5. The main line is, of course, to play queen b3. Queen b3 right here, by the way, because if he gives one more move and then plays queen b3, now we are ready to play queen e7 because bishop f6, there is knight f6. But queen b3 directly, and then we cannot play this, so we have to take. Sorry. You will see more in the main file, but it's fairly straightforward. Lastly, takes, bishop f4. Another crazy line. There are so many crazy lines. I remember there was some Magnus game with such idea. Magnus was white. Many games. I also had some games here. Once again, this huge amount of theory we bypass immediately, playing something very rare, very simple, straightforward. Once again, like in the e3 line, like that bishop g5, bishop f6 e3 line, we play c5 without castling. So I also like when we have this recurring themes. It gets easier to play. c5. What's the idea? Why are we playing direct c5? If dc5, we castle. You will see our activity is coming very quickly. If e3, your opponent might play e3, and which is already bad. Now c4. And this c4, this whole setup, is great when white is not getting his bishop to c2. And then it is stuck. Then, you will get your castle, maybe here. You will have some long-term potential, play for this square. It's in fact, here already I'll prefer black. So g3 is the move. And these three moves, you can play almost in any order. It does not change. Because whatever you do, white is going to play next this. Which means we will come to this position. And then you will see in the file, the main line will go somewhat like this. And then we have some very surprising ideas and how are we dealing with this. I can assure you two things. Either, I can assure you actually a couple of things. So first of all, either you will get an flat equal position, zero suffering. It's not like white can win or draw and we are begging for draw. This will never happen. So one option is flat equal. The second, you can get position which are where you are playing for 3 results and you will be ahead of time. Like if you have the course, I can guarantee that you will have more novelties than your opponent, more new ideas, more new concepts. So you will be ahead of time and you'll be better prepared and play for 3 results. And one more thing, throughout the video, you will not see any move or any, let's say, pattern which goes unexplained. So you will have a concept starting from bishop b4. So when next time you play Ragozin, you know your ideas. You know, like, yes, he wants to play e3. We have compromised here. So now in order to play e3, he wants to maximize this. So we will not allow. It's very important that whenever we are giving away something like this bishop, we have to get something in return. It's always give and take. We will never make slightest compromise in the position without knowing what am I getting in return. That is it basically. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the main course. And you just saw trailer here, an extended trailer, but I also did not want to give an introduction which is very short and you don't get a good vibes of it. So I hope it was lengthy enough to encourage you to play Ragozin, which can get very sharp, but yet strategically it's very solid and there is foundation behind it. Like, it's so logical that the moment our bishop is restricted, we are playing for activity. So it makes perfect sense. It's like one of the best move in the position. And yeah, I look forward to see you in the main course. Until then, bye bye.